Once upon a time, in a distant land, there were two cities named Sodom and Gomorrah. These cities were bustling with people, but unfortunately, the people there were very naughty and did many bad things. They were unkind to one another, often fighting and doing things that made God very sad. They didn't listen to God or follow His teachings. They were greedy, dishonest, and hurtful, and their hearts were full of wickedness. The cities were known far and wide for their great sinfulness, and the cries of their wickedness reached heaven. In a nearby place, there lived a good man named Abraham. Abraham loved God deeply and always tried to do what was right. He lived in peace, following God's guidance and teaching his family to be righteous. One day, God decided to tell Abraham about his plan to destroy the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah because of their wickedness. Abraham was very worried when he heard this news. He thought, what if there are some good people living there? Would God destroy them along with the wicked? Abraham was a compassionate man, and he believed in justice and mercy, so he decided to speak to God about it. Abraham went to God and asked, will you really destroy the cities if there are 50 good people in them? God listened to Abraham and said, if I find 50 good people in Sodom, I will not destroy the city. Abraham was relieved, but still concerned. He thought, what if there aren't 50 good people? So, he asked God again, what if there are only 45 good people? God replied, if I find 45 good people, I will not destroy the city. Abraham continued to ask, lowering the number each time. He asked about 40, 30, 20, and finally, 10 good people. God agreed each time, promising not to destroy the cities if even 10 righteous people could be found. Abraham felt a bit more at peace, hoping that there might be at least 10 good people in those cities. God then sent 2 angels to Sodom to see for themselves how bad things really were, and if there were any good people there. When the angels arrived in Sodom, they met a kind man named Lot. Lot was Abraham's nephew, and he was different from the other people in Sodom. He believed in God and tried to do what was right. Lot saw the angels and immediately invited them to stay at his house, offering them food and a place to rest. However, the people of Sodom were very bad. That night, the men of Sodom surrounded Lot's house. They were angry and demanded to see the visitors, intending to hurt them. Lot was very worried and tried to protect the angels. He even offered his daughters to the angry mob, but they refused and tried to break down the door. The angels quickly pulled Lot back inside and struck the men outside with blindness, so they couldn't find the door. They then told Lot about their mission. We are sent by God to destroy this city because of its great wickedness, they said. They warned Lot to gather his family and leave the city immediately. The angels said, take your wife and daughters and flee. Do not look back, and do not stop anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, or you will be swept away. Lot hurried to tell his family, but his sons-in-law thought he was joking and didn't believe him. So, Lot, his wife, and their 2 daughters ran away from the city as fast as they could. As they were running, God sent a rain of burning sulfur from the sky. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were engulfed in flames, and everything in them was destroyed. The buildings, the people, and even the plants. It was a terrible sight. Lot's family was safe, but as they fled, Lot's wife disobeyed the angel's warning. Curious and missing her home, she looked back at the burning city. The moment she did, she was turned into a pillar of salt. Lot and his daughters continued to run without looking back, heartbroken, but determined to survive. Finally, Lot and his daughters reached safety in a small town, and later, they moved to a cave in the mountains to live. They were safe from the destruction, but they would never forget what happened. They learned an important lesson about the importance of listening to God and living a righteous life. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah teaches us that being kind and good is very important, and that we should always listen to God's guidance to avoid the consequences of wickedness. And so, Lot and his daughters started a new life, always remembering the tragic end of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the lessons they learned. The end.